pace with control of this race. Here comes a run from Davey Hazard. He blocks the 10. Not going to be enough. Ryan Pace is going to win at Talladega.
Curry trying to hold off Wilson. He's done a good job so far. Wilson, one last desperate attempt to the bottom. He won't get there. Nick Curry wins at Bristol.
Coming out turn number 2, coming down the back straightaway here. Looks like he's in a class of his own right now.
Merzlak, one final time, get around the 55, big time send.
He hits the wall, he hits it, he gets the lead, but can he hang on to it? Oh my goodness, he made it to the line!
Big push down the backstretch is going to give him a good run through the corners.
Just a little bit
follow from the 1.
A little bit of contact there for second, but coming to the line, Toby Roberson's going to take home the checkered flag and victory here from the new Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Before I wrap things up here in this segment, your thoughts on the type of race we're going to see tonight? And I would have to agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's feature presentation of the final race of the TMP Championship Series live here on JTN from the Michigan International Speedway. We're so glad you're joining us here tonight. Hello and welcome, folks. My name is Joe Swiaski. Joining me up here in the booth tonight, the one and only Dewey Schramm III. Dewey, welcome back to Brooklyn.
Yeah, been a little bit, but hey, back-to-back weeks to end off this season. 4 guys looking for a title.
That's right.
Wide open racetrack, sort of.
Sort of.
A lot of lap times that are close together. I'm looking forward to it. How about you?
I've always looked forward to a race here at MIS, and one with so much on the line tonight with those 4 drivers going for the title, the 0 of John Wall, the 6 of Rich Knappick, the 85 of Josh 2, and the 9-10 by way of points of Jamie Tedder. Those 4 drivers all competing with each other, the race within the race, as it were, Dewey, to claim a championship here tonight.
Yeah, and boy, was it a race last week down in Trenton, New Jersey, where the 85 and the 6 had that really intense fuel mileage finish, and we all thought that Josh 2 was going to pull it off and take home the win. And then Rich Knappick said,
Rich Finkel.
And passed him right before the line.
Rich Finkel.
Oh, it's Rich Finkel. Well, I got Rich right. But Rich Finkel stole it from Josh 2 right before the line. But even despite that, the 85, of course, can, as disappointing as that was, has a full slate and something bigger to race for here tonight. So after a banger of a race last week, going to have a banger of a race hopefully tonight. And for those 4 guys, it all comes down to this. Everything that they've worked for all year, it culminates in the next 75 laps. So whoever can run the best of them, of course, will come home as the champ.
Going to be fun here tonight. Qualifying's underway. Those are the results you're seeing at the top of your screens at home. Again, 2 sets of tires laying in the pits for these drivers before, if they take that 3rd set of tires during the race, that would incur a 1-lap penalty. So something to watch out for here tonight. If drivers spin out, lose control early on in this race, might have to take a penalty if they go over their allotted tires. So always a fun thing to look out for here in the TMP Championship Series. Josh Boyer right now has the provisional pole, 37.42. That will lock in that 41 car from the pole position tonight. Dewey, with qualifying complete, why don't you take us through tonight's starting lineup?
And this starting lineup is very close together, Joe. As you mentioned, Josh Boyer in the 41, the provisional pole sitter, and will lead us to the green. And to his outside, the 85 of Josh 2, who bested out 3rd place Viper by a single thousandth of a second. To Viper's outside, John Wall in the 0, one of our other championship contenders. And to his diagonal inside, the 44 of Dan Rubino will start in 5th, just 2 1,000ths behind the 0. So not a lot of room for error here in this qualifying session. To Dan's outside will be the 49 of Irv Johnston. And then back in row 4, the 67 of Brian Bieswanger and the 910 of Jamie Tedder, another title contender. Those 2 also only separated by a thousandth of a second there on their times. Back in row 5, the 12 of Jim Windrow and the 86 of Daryl Johnston. Back in row 6, the 61 of Dick Jordan and the 33 of Tom Goodman, who flipped over on lap 1 last week. So hopefully for him, a better start to the night here than at Trenton. Back in row 7, the 6 of Rich Napick, the final of our 4 title contenders, and to his outside, Steve Rubino in the 07. Tom Musa and last week's winner, Rich Fenkel, back in row 8, and the 108 of John Palmer, shotgun on the field here tonight. So 17 strong here for the TMP season finale, and with lap times that close together, this should be a really exciting race, Joe.
It's always going to be an exciting race. Always. Dewey, like, come on. Come on. Hit him with that excitement. Hit him with that excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, less than half a second separating first place Josh Boyer from 15th place Tom Musa. So a very compact field. Rich Fenkel was a couple tenths off, but as it turns out, that didn't matter for him last week because he ended up winning anyway. So even though that 2 clearly doesn't have quite the speed that the rest of the field has, still watch out for him to try to go 2 in a row to end off this season. And I think with a bit of a more super speedway-esque feel in tonight's race, draft should definitely be a big factor. I think pretty much anybody in this field is going to have a pretty good shot to take home the final checkered flag of the year.
Well, it'll be interesting, too, to see how these drivers manage the tires early on in the race, right, Dewey? I mean, we talk about it, tire allotment and saving those tires. It ends up being a critical part of each and every one of these races so far this season. Goodyear has brought another really good tire with some good fall off on it here tonight to this track, so it'll be one of our key storylines to watch throughout the evening.
Yeah, and obviously tire conservation is a factor in any race you run across any discipline, any sim, really anything. But with the locked allotment of 2, a rarity for an NR 2003 league like this one, definitely makes it that much more important, where you can't just go down pit road and throw on 4 new tires if you want to. You have to manage them just like you'd have to on iRacing, and it adds a whole new dynamic for how these guys can manage their stuff. And obviously it also means that if we have a late race caution, there's no usually on NR you'd see a lot of guys just come down pit road because it doesn't matter how many tires you take. But here, if you've already used them both,
yeah, you don't come down pit road.
Rest out of luck.
Yeah, you can't have that. Can't have that 1 lap penalty with 2 laps to go.
No, you cannot. That no, would not work.
Math isn't mathing.
Ooh, that was a big hit.
It was.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my god. But yeah, obviously, again, tire conservation will always be a factor regardless of what sim and what track and what car, but for a locked allotment, adds a whole new level to that equation.
Thanks for downplaying what I was talking about, Dewey. I really appreciate that.
Of course. Glad I could help. Anytime.
Dewey, Shram the Third, cutting me out at the knees since 1992.
Yep. 1992.
I just came up with a random date.
I'm the visionary.
A revolutionary.
Yeah. Cutting edge commentary here on JTN.
Always.
Only the best.
Only.
Got about 10 seconds left here in happy hour, so perhaps a couple guys practicing pit entry before we get things going. Never a bad idea to do that. Getting the last couple laps in, maybe testing the limits of those tires on a short run in case it ends up happening later on in the race. But it all comes down to this. No more setup changes, no more practice, no more qualifying, no more happy hour. It is just 75 laps to determine a series champion, and they're going to have to be pretty much a perfect 75 laps for one of those 4 title contenders to be the one to come out on top.
Vroom, vroom.
Vroom vroom.
Dewey, so many years have gone by. since I got to sit in the grandstands in turn 1 that no longer sit there. Makes me sad. I miss those turn 1 grandstands. Field gets lined up, and we wait the command to get engines fired here from Michigan.
Drivers, start your engines!
As there is the command, and cars roll off. And it's Josh Boyer with the pole here tonight in that number 41. First of the championship drivers, Josh 2, to his outside. So the Josh and Josh show in row number 1, Dewey.
Indeed. One of them fighting for a win. One of them fighting for a little more than that.
All of them fighting. Just fighting. Will fisticuffs be thrown?
Kind of hard to do that through a computer, but probably not stopped anybody from trying.
Field makes their way through turns 3 and 4 for the last green flag to be dropped of the 2024-2025 TMP Racing season. Josh Boyer with control, fans at the sold-out grandstand on their feet. Boyer with control, green flag, and we're racing here from Michigan.
A little bit of a fan out there towards the middle of the pack, briefly 3 wide, as the 41 will clear the 85 for the top spot down into turns 1 and 2.
Top 4 gets single file here off of turn number 2 down the back straight away. Everyone playing nice, plenty of room around this track to navigate and go that 3-4 wide.
No flip in turn 1 this time, thankfully, unlike last week. I'm sure
That's a welcome
Goodman's
sign.
thrilled to see that.
Yes.
Yeah. As Josh Boyer will lead our first lap of the night. Josh, too, got the 24 of Viper all over his back bumper here down into turn 1. But now the 85 creates a little bit of space and some breathing room as all these guys try to establish a little bit of a rhythm and a groove early on here at Michigan.
How do you set the pace if you're Josh Boyer right now in the race lead, Dewey? We talked about tires being that oh-so-critical component. That first lap was a 41-second lap. This lap will be the one that kind of gives us an indication of what these guys are looking to run here in race pace.
I think about a 38 flat here for these guys up at the front. And honestly, I'm not sure if setting a pace is quite... Go ahead.
I was going to say, that's about on pace with what they ran in qualifying, isn't it?
I think the qualifying or the pole time was about a 37.4, but obviously race pace is a tad slower most times than what they set in qualifying. But
Well, with
back to what I was
draft
gonna say,
and fixed setup, though, Dewey.
you'd think, but guess not quite the case here. But I think it's a bit difficult for these guys to set a race pace with differing tire strategies, because obviously last week at Trenton we saw some guys take it easy on tires earlier in the race, and then we saw others like Jim Windrow in the 12 just go all the way through the field right at the beginning and really not give as much attention to what the tires are going to do. So I'm not really sure what we're going to see in terms of a groove or a rhythm, and we're going to see likely a varying difference in pressure on those tires.
One of our championship contenders there, stuck on the outside. That's Jamie Tedder in the 910. Now has a spot to get back in line. Saw a close moment there with Daryl Johnston in the 86.
Don't want any close calls. Obviously not a wreck, but even the close calls can be a bit
Ooh,
unnerving. And
Johnston.
speaking of that, uh-oh. And hard into the wall goes the 86. He had some help, I believe, from Jim Windrow in the 12, and the rear of that car not looking too good here. And on lap number 5, we've got our first yellow. I think the 12 got a bit hot there in the 1 and 2 and just tagged him.
Yeah. Oof.
Bit loose there on the underneath him as well, and at that point nothing the 86 can do, and that car got pretty high off the ground when it hit the wall.
It did. On
Pretty
board
scrunched up.
with Dick Jordan, the 61. He gets a good look from afar.
Yeah, hopefully Daryl's crew can kind of get that beat out and back into somewhat decent shape, but that's quite a bit of damage, and there's also quite a bit of left side damage as well.
I was going to say the tires, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you're losing a set of tires now.
Yeah, not ideal by any means if you're that 86 team. It's likely going to be a long night. And actually, the car only lifted a little bit off the ground in the back, but I think that car has some roof damage on it now. That was quite the hit that car took. Kind of impressive that for a car that did not turn upside down to still end up with roof damage, but that is the reality right now for Daryl Johnston, as we see quite a few takers here on pit road, but I imagine most of these guys will just be topping off on gas as opposed to taking a set of tires. Of course, with only 2 sets at their disposal for this race, doesn't really make a lot of sense to take one after only 5 laps, especially with a fuel run only being roughly 25-ish laps. But it does push that envelope a bit further back into the race. So now that that has occurred, I think it takes the elements of fuel saving out of the equation with this early yellow. As with about a 25 lap run, if it went green the entire way, they'd be right on the edge of making it at the end of the race on lap 75, but now with these drivers coming in to top off on gas, still a 2-stop race after this, but after that second stop they will not have to worry about saving to make it to the conclusion of the race.
We did get some fun updates about next season for TMP. I guess we can probably talk about it now. Culver Block 200 will now be a points race towards the beginning of the season in August. Of course, traditionally held in December as a non-points event. It'll be 200 miles, but with double points, most likely. Details TBD and to come about that race. This year, the theme of that one will be the 2003 Brickyard 400. Also an important...
More points racing, the better.
More... Also, for drivers out there interested, if you want to be part of this TMP Championship Series, which would point towards potentially being, I don't want to make any JTN commitments right now, but potentially towards JTN broadcasting again, you would have to participate in one or more sessions of the ARCA Truck or Aero 88 seasons that will be coming before the TMP Championship Series around this time next year. Josh Boyer right now leading the way because, of course, he participated in multiple sessions of those series. Leading the field back to green here, coming to lap 9 of 75. Green flag, and we're back underway here from Michigan. Goodman with
Tell you what, the 33 of Tom Goodman got one heck of a launch there on that restart, and he might be able to clear this 41 by the time they exit turn 2. And indeed, for the lead, the 33 of Tom Goodman gets our first lead change of the evening right off the bat.
And for Josh Boyer, that could be something that works in his favor now. He can kind of just keep pace with the 33. Dives to the inside to get some clean air on the nose, so maybe not. I think he wants this lead back.
I was going to say, typically you'd obviously want to be out front as long as possible, but for a race that involves this much tire conservation, that could become a welcome sight later on for some of these guys that don't want to bleed the line and don't want to be the one that kind of has to set the tone for the rest of the field.
Battle for third in the lead in the championship. Josh 2 takes that spot away from Rich Knappick. Gets up into third after being second for the entirety of that initial green flag run. And retakes the championship lead.
At two of our title contenders here, third and fourth as they run at the moment. The 910 and the 0 a bit further back, but obviously by no means out of contention with so much of the race.
Hey, all four contenders are on your screens right now at home, so they're all still right by each other. They can all still see each other.
Yeah, all in the top 8 right now. I think Jamie started a bit further back, but now with that yellow, they're a bit bunched up again as the 33 slaps the wall there out of turn 2. Don't want to do that too many times. Some cars are a bit more forgiving with wall hits than others, but a wall hit nonetheless isn't always the ideal outcome for exiting a turn. Battle for second here. Josh 2 on the inside, Tom Goodman on the outside. Looks like that's going to go to the 85 here.
Ooh, 910s into the outside wall off of turn 2. Sorry, Dewey. Almost had a big moment there. Steve Rubino had to swerve to avoid. Tedder in the 910.
Yeah, that's going to cost him some spots here. Down to about 11th or 12th now, I believe, from where he was running previously.
Goodman losing more spots here as Knappick goes by. Viper also trying to find a way around him, and hopefully there aren't any of the folks out there that are red-green colorblind. They can at least read the numbers on the sides of the 6, the 33, and the 24.
Gonna say we're gonna have a side-by-side battle here between a red car and a green car, and I apologize on behalf of anybody that's watching this. It's red-green colorblind, because that's a tough one right there.
Don't look now. Here comes Gerald Johnston. That 86. That car is destroyed in the back end, but it's still racy in the front.
Yeah, I think he's running higher now than he was when he got turned by the 12. So, I don't know. Maybe the damage on the back did something to it aerodynamically that's got it in a better spot than before. But it's not running too bad. He's going to pick up another spot here as the 33 is kind of in a free fall right now from where he was a couple laps ago.
Restarted second, it did Tom Goodman in the 33.
Briefly had the lead, and now I believe back to 7th. So still a long ways to go, but not quite the trend that Tom wants right now. And he's going to drop another spot here to
I'm going to drop
actually
two
spots. Both of the Rubinos here are going to go by him on the bottom.
Steve pushing Danny. Now getting to the inside of Danny. Uh-oh. Chaos has kind of found the Rubinos in this championship series the last few weeks, hasn't it?
Just a little bit. Irv Johnston going by the 40 or the 33 now as well, or trying to here down the back. Jamie Tedder going to make a move down there as well, trying to recover after that contact with the wall a couple laps ago.
Yeah, Goodman just continuing to fall.
Yeah, I don't. Obviously, a lot of these guys didn't take tires with how early of a caution it was, but definitely seems like the 33 used his up way quicker than anyone else in this field, because now, in just 3 or 4 laps, has gone from the lead to outside the top 10. And with a lot of the field topping off on lap 7, that's likely going to push back when the first round of pit stops happens, and if that's the case, he's going to have to manage those worn-out tires even longer than he would have had to otherwise. So this is going to be a bit of a rough stretch here for Tom, but hopefully when all these guys make their stops, he can get back on equal footing.
And Johnston, with the fresh tires, continues to drive to the front of the field.
Yeah,
Take it over
just
second.
Blew by the 85 without even a battle right there.
And that's 5 laps, 5-6 laps of tire difference.
Rich Napick to the inside of Josh as well. That is for the championship lead here. Down to turn 1, so put the 6 at the top of the title board for right now. And yeah, there is your tire difference, despite the damage on the back of the 86, but obviously, you know, the 86 will lose that time back once all the leaders come down for their tire stop. And so that's going to be the tricky part now for Darrell, is you see him, you know, mowing down the field right now, but he's going to have to make this last set of tires, you know, last almost the entire race, because he's not going to have the liberty of having both of those sets still available. He's going to have to make one set effectively last over half of this race, and it'll be interesting to see when he decides to take that second set. With the early caution, I think it's going to push the fuel window to around lap 30 or 31. And if Darrell takes his second set then, that's going to leave him with about 40-45 laps on a single set of tires. And for the rest of this field, it's going to be only around 25. So this could come back to hurt the 86 much later in the race, but smooth sailing for him right now. Got another one slow out of turn 2. That's the 44 of Dan Rubino. I'm not quite sure what happened, but he was quite off the pace. Fell about 5 or 6 spots there on that lap alone.
And closing in on those pit stops as well for a lot of these drivers. They're on Backdog Palmer. Irv Johnston battling with Tom Musa. It's back in the 8th spot is Johnston in that teal number 49.
Good move there out of 4 by Palmer to pull up side by side with that 49.
Try to take over this 8th spot. They get close on corner entry. Johnston moves back wide, and Palmer completes the pass for the spot, washes up the racetrack, and here comes Musa looking for 9th, and he'll take that spot as well, so Irv Johnston loses a couple. As here comes Rich Fenkel, last week's winner in the 2.
Yeah, it looked like the 49 briefly had a bit of a run there and had to check up just a little bit for the 108, and that cost him all the momentum that he had, and I think that's a similar deal to what happened with Dan Rubino a couple laps prior.
Back up front, looking at the battle for second between Rich Napick and Josh Boyer. Napick appears to be a little bit quicker right now. Boyer, of course, has been out in front for most of this race until Darrell Johnston got by him a few laps ago. You can see the 41 starting to struggle on corner exit there. Got really tight on corner exit of 2.
Indeed, he did. So we'll see what the 6 elects to do here. Because, again, obviously the 86 is on, 7-8 lap fresher tires than everyone else. So you can kind of disregard where he's at in terms of tires. But I am interested to see what the 6 has done on this run compared to the 41.
Barb, we're still here with you, though, up in the booth. Appreciate you cheering on Danny and Steve. Heard they're dealing with some fires up there in Jersey, so hope you and everyone's doing well. And Dewey, the pace for some of these guys towards the back of the field, they have fallen off mightily from our leaders.
Yeah, Dick Jordan, Jim Winslow, both almost 20 seconds back of our leader, Daryl Johnston, as they run. So I don't know if this is like extreme tire conservation or if they just don't quite have the pace that the front runners have. But either way, it's the gap expanded very quickly. As last time by, these two are racing with each other back here. They both ran, as they crossed the line this time, they put down a 41.6, and Daryl put down a 40.1, so they're losing about a second and a half per circuit right now.
Well, you said 41.6. Windrow's fastest lap of the race, which is the fastest lap of this race for all drivers, a 37.6. As they almost make contact, they're off of turn 2.
Yeah, it definitely seems like they're...
4 seconds of fall off, Dewey. 4 seconds.
Yeah, that is some extreme fall off.
It's amazing. Viper to the inside of Josh, too.
Tom Goodman on pit road from 15th place here.
And the window's open.
26. He is the first to come on in.
Josh, too, has fallen into the clutches of Tom Musa. Now here comes Steve Rubino in the 07. You can really tell that 85 is starting to fight a tight and ill-handling race car now. As Steve Rubino's coming down pit road.
Josh Boyer on his way in as well in the 41.
Ooh,
our pole sitter. Yeah, the 07 barely made it. Jamie Tedder, one of our title contenders, coming on in. Dan Rubino.
Pit speed starts at the tires there at the wall. But you do have to make that commitment cone.
Battle for 5th here. Josh 2, Rich Fankel down the back. Of course, that was the... not quite a battle, but the finish for the win last week at Trenton.
But you say not quite a battle, Dewey, but I mean, it was a battle. It's just it was a very sudden one that I don't even think us up in the booth realized was going on.
Yeah, no, not at all.
I know you're a history guy. But it's almost like it was a phony war.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Did you get that joke?
I did.
Thank you.
I did. Yeah.
I was,
Another one on pit road here, Rich Napick.
I was reaching for that one.
Brian Beeswanger coming on in. Dick Jordan. It was a reach, but it worked.
Pip pip cheerio.
Cheerio.
Guten Tag to you.
So there's going to be a bit of a part here of the race where Daryl Johnston's going to have a majority of the field trapped a lap down. As, of course, he can stay out much longer since he took those tires on lap 7. Oh, and the 07's just gone around here at the entrance of pit road, Joe. I believe he may have been coming back in to serve a potential penalty, and he just looped it coming across the commitment line.
Oh, no.
That's going to cost Steve quite a bit of time, and I think he might have just called it a night, actually. Yeah, he did. So our first retiree of the night, Steve Rubino, in the 07. Not quite the way, of course, that he wanted his season to end, but them's the breaks sometimes.
M's is the brakes.
As Josh 2 makes his way onto pit road here. I think the 86 is be coming in this time as well. So Daryl couldn't stay out much longer because of the fuel window being the same, but obviously you saw the tire difference there. But for the 86, again, he's already used his first tire set. So I'm interested to see here if maybe he elects to keep the tires he had on now and take the second tire set on his next stop, or if he decides to take his second set now and run the rest of the race on that set. So we'll see what Daryl does here as he makes his way down into his pit box. Decisions here. And it looks like he's going to be taking that set. So for Daryl Johnston, it's going to be the rest of this race on this tire set right here. So he's got to make him count, and he's probably going to need some cautions to stay in it. And with that, I believe that completes this round of stops. As somebody just tagged the wall hard in the middle of 1 and 2. That was the 49. I think he had a tire down that completely.
Tom Musa now in pit lane.
That was turn 3, actually. My bad there, but definitely looks like a tire failure there for the 49 of Herb Johnston. That's the risk you take when you try to stay out a bit longer, is once those tires wear out more, it might just blow on you.
Whoa.
Tom Musa, Jim Windrow, Rich Fankel also down on the pit lane. And I think this here will complete the cycle.
Should cycle. Oh, we're still waiting for everything to cycle through. It takes a couple laps, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's working on it. Doing its thing.
Do. Viper right now is the leader. He's coming to pit road. John Wall will take over the lead in the 0, it looks like.
Has he pit yet? Because I'm
No.
honestly not sure.
No, I think we're still going through this cycle. Do we?
Just think it, because if the 0 hasn't come down pit road yet, he just ran a 38.3 on really old tires.
Okay, never mind. He's had to come.
He had to have
Timing and
pit.
scoring is taking its time.
It is. But if that's the case, that means the 0 has cycled out to the race lead, and I think he was like, what, 7th before?
Yes.
So John Wall, the big winner of this cycle here. And so Rich Napick looks like he'll be 3rd, John Palmer, Tom Goodman, and Josh 2 once everything updates. Just shy of the halfway point here, only one car out of the race.
And really, the
Only
big
one
loser through
yellow.
that cycle was Josh Blair, who had a penalty.
Yeah, I think him and Steve Rubino both had pass-throughs for speeding, but again, unfortunately, the 07 spun out while going to serve it, and obviously that killed his second tire set, and at that point, you know, with no more remaining tire sets, he would have had to run out the race on that set or risk a penalty, but I just figured, you know what, not really worth it. So if you can nail the tire conservation, obviously a very rewarding experience, but other times it can make your night turn south pretty quick.
Hi, Ben. How are you?
Three-way battle here. This is 5th, 6th, and I think 16th here. Jim Windrow a lap down, but
Fifth,
still
sixth,
3 cars under a
16th.
blanket. One of these is not like the other, but they're still all really close together.
Hey, two
Tom
of them are
Goodman.
primary colors, and one of them is a secondary color. That makes up two primary colors.
Yeah, there you go.
Art. He has a
A
little bit of an
drafting
artist.
action here.
A little bit of an artist back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie Tedder making a move to the outside here of Tom Goodman out
Made
of
it
turn
work.
4.
It worked down the front straightaway.
Jim Windrow is going to go up high with the 910. Tom, I don't know if he was clear, but I think the 12 let him go. If that was a
Do
battle
we-
for position, I'm not sure if the 12 would have been so lenient.
Hey, make sure you're live.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Hey, we're back.
I'm like, you're calling something that happened already. And I watched with my own eyes.
Well, hey, now you got, like,
Here's-
enhanced.
Do we
You know?
everybody?
Hey, it happens. It happens.
It does. It happens to the best of us.
It does.
And Dewey, you are the best of us.
The brainulator was
Was brainulating.
on fumes there. I had to get a 4-tire stop, you know?
Mm-hmm.
To take some, like, Prevagen or something before the next one of these.
Boost the brain activity.
Yeah. Get the cobwebs out of the gears and, you know.
Ah, I hate it when the cobwebs get in the gears.
Yeah. Tough scene.
Oh, always. John Wall, though, 10 and a half second lead right now over Rich
Great scene
Napick.
for him.
Oh, great. And he's got some drafting help behind him. He can just run his laps.
And it's another 7 seconds from Rich Napick to the 3-pack of Josh 2, John Palmer, and Jamie Tedder. So even though the 6 is a ways back, he's got his own breathing room.
Well, the 85 is
So he's
even
kinda
starting to pull a little bit of a gap on the 108 and the 910.
Yeah, so we've got title contenders here 1, 2, 3, and 5, just past the halfway point. Obviously not bunched up together by any means, but
And now they're
all
1,
of
2,
them
3,
right
4.
now. And now they can just kind of run their own race and do their own thing. And though, of course, for all of them that are not named John Wall, they might need a caution to get within reaching distance of that 0.
And John Wall, of course, already within reaching distance of that 0 because he, in fact, is inside of the 0.
Indeed.
But yeah, I'm just so surprised by how John Wall was able to get such a massive lead here.
Yeah, that was... The swing that he had was remarkable.
Genius.
I just wonder if he's going to be able to keep that up after our next round of pit stops. And the window is going to open around lap, I want to say 51, 52, where we could see some guys come in at the first part of the run just within the range to make it on fuel. You might see some other guys try to stay out as long as possible, run the tank dry, run the tires until they're balding, and see if that works better. But with the way the caution came out early in the race, it created the opportunity for a much wider
Caution.
range as...
Big
Yeah,
crash. Dan Rubino's around on the back
speaking-
straightaway.
Yeah, speaking of yellows, so number 2 of the night here. I don't think he was the only car involved in this one.
Dewey, do you take your tires?
It looks like the 24 was the other car involved here.
Dewey, do you
The
take
44. I don't know.
Do you take
honestly.
your tires here? Ooh, we're being
I think
clips
you
the
do.
apron. I think he's gonna hit the wall here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shot down in a Viper. Tough break there for those two. Definitely are taking tires here, but
Yeah.
I think that goes without saying. But
I mean, you're right. You're right there.
this is a really tough call because
You're right there.
you're gonna have about 27, 28 to go.
You're
I
right
think.
there.
I think you go for it here, and I think this opens up fuel saving back to where we wouldn't have had it. 'Cause
Oh man.
If that stayed green, we're gonna have like a 7-8 lap range to come in and pit. But now this is gonna put guys right on the cusp of making it on fuel. So I think you'll see the majority of this field come down and get that last set of tires. But what you're also likely going to see now, if this goes green all the way, is a whole lot of fuel saving that we weren't going to have before. To just make double or even triple sure is that these guys can make it.
Only the top 10 were still on the lead lap when that caution came out, so a decent amount of cars here might take the wave around, try to get a lap back, and then hope for another quick caution.
It looks like Brian Bieswanger, one of those doing that. Josh Boyer, our pole sitter. I think Rich Napick stayed out entirely, though. I don't know if that's for another lap lead or what, but he did not come down pit road with the rest of the leaders. That is an interesting development here, because if that 6 stays out, it's going to put him in a very precarious spot, because he will need another yellow if that's the case.
It is not
So
gonna
the 6 stayed out again. I think he's going to risk it here, Joe.
I don't know. Well, pace lights are out, so yeah. Gonna keep some of these cars a lap down, too.
This is a really, really big risk here for Rich Napick. He's going to need a quick yellow.
Yeah, so I think what he's
to get
gonna
himself
want, like, 5 laps, and then a yellow.
roughly, yeah.
Because, I mean, we saw
Right.
Daryl Johnston, how much 5 laps difference in tires was. You know what I mean?
Of course, but the issue is if this runs green all the way to the end, he's in trouble.
Yes.
And the only way he's not is if everyone else runs out of fuel.
Yes.
Which, if that's what he's banking on, is one heck of a risk to take.
Especially in a championship race. But again, some would say this is the race to take that risk in, right? It's all or nothing.
Yeah, I get both sides of the coin here, because I think for something like this, you want to stay at least within everyone else, or everyone else you're fighting with, but like this is such a massive swing at the fence. I mean, yeah, for the title I understand it, but man, if it doesn't work, it's gonna sting.
It always
And it's
stings.
sting a lot. We'll see if it works for him, though,
Yeah,
as he
Napick.
will lead the field here back to the green. We got 27 to go, right on the edge of making it on fuel.
I'm on the edge of glory, Dewey.
I'm on the edge.
The edge,
Glory.
the edge, the
Fuel
edge.
saving at Michigan.
John Wall making it 3-4 wide here through turn 2.
Whoa! What a move by the Zero there to get those spots back as one just tags the wall right behind him.
And Josh, too,
That's the 86.
that 85 car, he also is trying to drive right to the front. He's up into second.
As the 12 and the 49 just unlapped themselves here around the 6 of Napik, who of course is on much older tires now than everyone around him.
Here
He'll
comes Josh,
leave the lap
too.
this time, but yeah, the 85 is there, and he's going to take the championship lead and the race lead away. And is that John Wall
It is.
right there as well? For a second.
Don't look now, but Jamie Tedder is moving up. Tom Musa had stayed out. He loses the spot to the 910. Appic going to suffer the same fate here as in a few moments.
Yeah, the 6 and the 4 are going to need a caution desperately here shortly. Otherwise, this is not going to work out for them at all. Jamie Tedder now up to third, so our contenders are still 1, 2, 3, 4, but now the 6 finds himself the last running of those and not the first running of those. .49 just tagged the wall hard out of turn 2, and that just slowed down the Zero. Irv Johnson kept it straight, but that was a pretty big
Wallop.
hit there to the right side of the car.
Big ol' wallop. So Josh,
3 wide here out of 4.
Josh too, maybe employing similar strategies to last week.
Well, it barely didn't work out for him last week. It was about 100 feet from working for Josh too. Maybe hoping for a different outcome this time. Rich Napik now down to 9th in just a couple of laps. Tom Musa still in 5th, but I think he will be enduring a similar fate to that of the 6 here shortly. And looks like Josh Boyer's coming in, and Napik is joining him. So this is going to put the 6 a lap. He's going to have fresher tires, but he's going to go a lap down here to the leaders with just about 20 to go.
And Rubino
So
gets
he's gonna
back
need
on the
yellow to
lead
save
lap.
him. Yeah. I understand the Hail Mary, go for the win approach. I just don't know if this was quite the right one. And this leaves him now. Actually, John Wall pit as well, Joe. We missed that. So the
Yeah,
Zero.
so these guys are pitting to try to make it on fuel.
Perhaps John Wall figured he wouldn't be able to make it. Like, I think Rich was hoping for a yellow, but I think John was looking at it and just didn't want to run the risk of running out and would rather be safe than sorry. And I'm sure the way the race ended for the 85 last week is on all these guys' minds because they don't want to be the one that happens to again.
No.
But more so Josh than anybody else, but which to me makes it funnier that we have a very similar setup right now to what we had last week with just 20 to go here on the season. Win the championship or die trying. Daryl Johnston here on pit road again in the 86. Again, no more tires, or I think he's taking a tire set here and accepting the penalty for it. Because making it that many laps on one set. Just not really feasible.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and you hear Josh too clutching it.
Yeah, the 86 was just put in such a tough spot with the early yellow to have to burn a set that quick, and we saw the speed it had on the fresher tires in the middle of the run, but, you know, still behind the 8 ball in terms of overall higher abilities.
Yes.
Irv Johnston coming on in this time in the 49. Banking for a yellow to keep himself on the lead lap, but he'll probably fall 2 laps down now with this pit stop. Jamie Tedder on pit road as well, so now 3 of our title contenders have pit, with Josh 2 being the lone one that hasn't.
Tedder putting on the left side tires.
So Napick is a lap down, John Wall is 36 seconds behind the 85, and we'll have to see where timing and scoring is for the 9-10 ends up. So I think Josh 2 is hoping, unlike last week, that if he runs out on the last lap, he'll actually make it around before one of these title contenders passes him. Because Rich Napick was the odd man out at the beginning of this run, but now the 85 is the odd man out of our contenders. Jamie Tedder about 2 seconds behind the 0, so John Wall is now 34 seconds behind Josh. I think he's gaining about a second and a half per lap. So the only way that he'll catch Josh is if he runs out of gas.
Oh?
He will not get there, only gaining a second a lap.
Josh 2 is in ultimate fuel saver mode as Tom Goodman takes over the race lead.
Yeah, Josh does not need to win the race to win the championship. All he has to do is finish ahead of the other 3 title contenders, and that trophy is his. So I'm sure winning the race would be good, but not necessary to get the title by any means.
Yeah, but you want the title, right? And you still want to win that last race of the season.
Yeah, winning the last race would be nice, but if I had my choice, I think I'd much rather win the title than the race, obviously.
Wow.
You know, crazy take, I know.
That is.
Yeah, what a concept there.
I'm surprised you would say something so outlandish.
I know. I'm not afraid to speak my mind, Joe. Dick Jordan hits pit road here from 4th. Bit off cycle compared to when everybody else made their pit stop, but on pit road nonetheless. John Wall has shaved off another couple seconds, so again, he's only gaining about a second or so per lap, as is Jamie Tedder. So if Josh 2 can save enough gas to make it to the end, this championship is his to lose. But if a caution comes out, of course, that will flip everything on its head. As Viper is now taken over the 2nd spot from the 85. So we could still have a battle for the win. Viper is only about a second or 1.8 seconds behind the 33.
But again, all these guys have to save fuel, and right now I don't think the 33 is saving all that much fuel, do we?
Well, I know he pit very off sequence, but I don't know if he'll be able to make it or not.
Well, remember, they all pit under this caution.
They did. So obviously the 85 is saving more than his peers are, but Viper is, I believe, has been gaining every lap though on the 33, so the 24 could be in the catbird seat here for this race win. Which is insane because the caution that created all of this involved him. And here he is in second place with 11 laps to go, and he's less than 2 seconds off the lead. You can see that 33 now out of his windshield. Rich Knapik, the last car on the lead lap, in 8th place. He runs 32 seconds behind Josh 2. Jamie Tedder running about 25 seconds behind. John Wall running about 24 behind. And only 10 to go here on the season.
And a lot of cars clutching on corner entry now.
Yeah, that caution was timed so interesting that it turned this from about a 6 or a 7 lap fuel window to everybody has to pit right now and it's going to cause fuel saving. Just turns the entire strategy upside down.
Well, it's like you couldn't give up the afforded opportunity, right, to come down pit road.
Exactly. Now, obviously, again, we've seen 5 or 6 cars come down pit road since that caution to ensure that they make it to the end, but they're going to need some luck on their side in terms of some tanks running dry ahead of them for it to truly pay off. As the gap between the 85 and the 0 now about 20 seconds, so another 2 seconds shaved off there by John Wall. But he's going to have to make up those 20 seconds in 8 laps. You're talking about, I believe, a second or about 2.5 seconds a lap for the 0 to get there. And he's just not gaining at that pace, despite coming down pit road.
But again, that's assuming the 85 makes it.
That being said, though, Joe, the 910 has caught the 0. Those two had about a second and a half gap, but the two of them are now racing with each other.
And they're probably working together.
If the 85 runs out with like 2 laps to go, you're going to have a side-by-side battle for the championship, perhaps, between these two. As Tedder's making a move on the 0, and he makes the pass.
Tedder said, I'm gonna take the position now. Thank you very much.
But depending on the size of Josh 2's fuel tank, that could be the move for the title. As we'll have to see if the 85 crew illegally modified the size of the fuel tank after their misfortune last week.
Or added some length to the
on some Jesse Love Talladega thing from last year.
Well, you know. RCR would never cheat. Right?
What do you think the C stands for?
Did you just come up with that? Wait, did you just come up with that?
I did, yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, I try.
Sometimes. Anyways, the gap.
It's down to 15 seconds now.
Oh my goodness.
And the 85 just took 6 to go here.
He is on the edge of a championship, is Josh 2 in this 85. Heartbreak a week ago. Trying to seal the deal for his first win here at TMP. Could he get his first championship before his first win? Tom Goodman, though, out in front. Just took 5 laps to go. And he's saving.
Saving.
See that red car behind the 33. Who's the focal point of your screen? That is Viper in second.
That gap between the 33 and the 24 is leveled off.
That car out in front is Dan Rubino. Last car on the lead lap right now, running in 8th.
11 seconds now, the gap between the 85 and the 910. Four to go here at Michigan. The gap is down, I think, to 9 seconds now. We'll see where the 910 is when he crosses the line. But he might be making up those 2.5 seconds a lap now.
He's pulled a couple 2-second gap back to John Wall in 5th as Jamie Tedder.
8.9 seconds, and he's got 3 laps to get there. So it's getting real close now.
And if you're Josh too, just don't run out of fuel before the start-finish line, right? Like that is your goal at this point.
Yeah, it does not matter what the two ahead of them do. They can literally do anything.
Run out, come to pit road, it does not matter. Tom Goodman off of turn 4, coming to 2 laps to go. Final race in the TMP Championship Series here from Michigan, 2 to go for Goodman.
Oh, I just fell out of the server.
That's not good.
Lovely.
Josh
We're trying.
2 comes back around to the line. Oh, white flag's in the air. Hold on.
Yeah, Tom Goodman has taken the white flag here.
It's coming off of turn 4. He's not coming to the checkered, is he? Did we lose track of the laps?
No, he is coming to the white flag here this time, Joe. White flag is in the air for Tom Goodman. He's got 1.2 seconds on the 24 of Viper. Josh 2 has 4.8 seconds on Jamie Tedder for this championship lead. Oh boy, it's getting close now.
Tom Goodman down the back straightaway, still under power with the race lead.
Josh 2 is crossing the line right now to take the white flag here.
And Jamie Tedder can see the 85.
Oh, he's there. He is there. Is it going to happen to Josh 2 for the second week in a row? As out of turn 4, Tom Goodman takes the checkered flag. He will win the season finale here at Michigan. And Viper comes home second. And now, can Josh 2 hold off Jamie Tedder down the back? Here he comes into turn 3. The 85's out. He ran out again. For the second week in a row, Josh 2 runs out on the final lap of the race. And out of turn 4, Jamie Tedder in the 910 is going to steal the championship right out from underneath him. And he walks away with the TMP championship trophy.
Wow.
Oh no. John Wall comes home 4th in the race, 2nd in the championship. And the 85, I don't even know if he's going to make it back to the line. He's going
coasting.
at snail's pace right now. Viper's going to give him a little boost here across the line. As Tom Goodman will start his burnout. And Josh 2 comes home in 8th and 4th in the championship.
Ah, your heart aches for Josh.
He was that close. If I had a nickel for every time Josh 2 ran out of fuel on the white flag of a TMP race,
in the
I'd
last
have
2
2
weeks.
nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
Tom Goodman burns it down. He's your winner tonight here from Michigan. We'll get to talk with him. We'll talk with second place Viper. Talk with JB Tedder, your champion and third place finisher, who will also get to burn it down here as your TMP Championship Series winner. Jamie, of course, got into this championship fight by virtue of the wild card, and everyone loves it when a wild card wins it, right?
Always a fun time, unless you're, a certain driver in a pink car.
Well, let's go ahead and head on down into victory lane, and let's talk with the driver of the number 33, Tom Goodman. Tom, do you got a copy?
I do.
How the heck are you, buddy? And how the heck did you make it to the end of this race?
Clutching it.
So you just have that clutch gene in you?
Man, I'm telling you. I mean, the clutch and the help tire.
Yeah.
And then 28 laps, I says, I can do this.
How much of that is just determination to say that, okay, this is my opportunity, this is my chance to win this race?
Oh, absolutely. As soon as it started back up, I went like, okay, I got good speed yet. Everybody's saving gas.
Mhm.
So I'm going to try different energy.
How hard is it?
Go all out except for clutching and letting it drift around.
Now, at one point we saw you decided to maybe get going a little bit there, get the race lead, and then kind of resume that heavy fuel save. Why did you pick the moment to take the lead that you did?
Well, because it was the best, easiest time to get the lead,
Mhm.
and then I could go into fuel saving mode from there. Plus, it didn't take much tire to get the lead.
Is it kind of that balance of how long is this going to take me and how much is it going to bring the guys behind me closer to me when you make that pass?
Oh yeah, I was watching the interval between me and Viper the whole time and working off of that.
Fair enough. Well, Tom, a big win here to end the season, man. Congratulations to you and your team. Before we let you go, I want to give you the opportunity. Got some great folks behind you as always. The floor is yours. You know what to do.
Well, first, of course, I gotta thank Tom and Roger and Josh too for his sponsorship, and to all the guys for racing clean tonight. Really nice show.
Well, Tom, congratulations on the big win here to end the season at Michigan. As always, it's a pleasure to get the opportunity to talk with you, pick your brain after the race. Great job on the fuel save, and best of luck here in the off season. Hope to be talking to you again soon.
All right, thank you, Josh. Joe.
Tom Goodman, driver of the number 33, your race winner here tonight for Michigan. We go ahead and next talk to our second place finisher, driver of the number 24, Viper. You got a copy down there, buddy?
Yep, sure do.
All right. Well, second place run. I don't know how much you heard from Tom there, but he was watching you in his rearview mirror, and sounded like you were the reason that he decided to pick up the pace a little bit there to get to the race lead. How did you manage, though, to save all that fuel to get to the end as well?
Well, I just started collecting that last caution all the way through. Just stayed in the draft and just didn't really push the issue with the fuel mileage during that run. And that's ended up second. Wish it's first, but I'll come eventually.
In retrospect, would you have maybe tried to push a little bit earlier, a little bit later? What do you think you could have done differently to maybe wind up one spot better?
Have Tom wreck? I don't know.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I think you guys were kind of in lockstep there, right? I mean, it seemed like you two. I think Tom was racing off of you. I'm assuming you were kind of racing off of the 33 a little bit.
Yeah, I was. I was kind of watching them catching those lap cars, and lap cars also help get a little bit of draft off of them, so that save more fuel in the long run. But we were both in the same thing, so it equaled out for both of us, pretty much.
Well, and of course, involved in that final caution of the night, where the 44 hit the wall there, kind of set us up for a fuel mileage race to the end. What's going through your mind when you get involved in that wreck, and then how did you manage to, one, stay on the lead lap, because got very close to going a lap down there, but also to keep in the proper mindset to rebound and obviously get a fantastic finish at the end of the year?
The first thing I thought, crap, I got damaged now. And my left front tire blew out when I was spinning. So I changed left sides first under the pit stop, went back in, changed right sides, and just took it from there. And I was kind of aggravated when it happened, but it worked out.
Well, Viper, a great job here tonight. Second place run for you in this 24 bunch. Great rebound. Before we let you go, I want to give the opportunity. You got some great folks behind you, some folks to shout out. The floor is yours. You know what to do.
I'd like to thank Tom here at TMP and all the guys here for putting this on. It's a pretty fun league. Thank Josh's Eggs for sponsoring it. And my teammates at Crazy Jamie in their booth here with us, and the 0 and -5 and the 19 who got scared and don't show up anymore.
Ouch.
And just one more thing, this track here, there was a guy years ago at SMO He taught me how to drive this thing because this was his home track. His name was in Nighthawk. Drove the 66, and coming next year here at TMP, I'm gonna drive it in his honor.
Viper, we're looking forward to it. He taught you well because man, oh man, did a great job here tonight. Congratulations on the second place run. It's a pleasure to get the opportunity to talk with you here to end the year. Best of luck here in the off season, getting all the decals changed on the cars for next year, and hope to be talking with you in the new season.
I'm 10 for it. Sounds good. While you're at it, smack Jamie for me while he's in the booth with you. Y'all have a good one.
Will do. Driver number 24, Viper, your second place finisher here tonight. And now, to kick off our trophy presentation to our champion, I want to turn it over to Tom Musa.
Congratulations, Jamie. Out of nowhere tonight. You weren't doing anything until the end. That's awesome.
That was the name of the game for me, was just to save my car to the end and just hope it played out. Well, if Josh hadn't ran out of fuel, I'd already planned on just pulling up behind him and following him in, but he ran out of fuel too soon. So
that's 2 weeks in a row for him.
Yeah, it sure is. But hey, I didn't lead a lap. But
you don't have to lead a lap
great race
to win the championship, right? You just got to beat the other three.
Yep, correct. And I'm going to tell you, it's been a great season racing with these guys over here. The number 6, Rich, he's just been an excellent competitor, and always very clean in his racing. And I couldn't ask for nobody else to be running in a championship with, of course, other than my teammates from SMO, John and Josh too, and of course Viper, but and RC, but they wasn't in it for the championship. But I don't know. It's just I never dreamed of this when I got home tonight. Never entered my mind that this would happen.
Well, I can kind of hear it there. I think the meaning of winning this championship, but for the folks at home, I mean, this TMP, the way that the championship and the series is formatted, right? You have 4 different series, 3 throughout the year, and then this championship run that we've been lucky enough to cover these past 4 weeks, thanks to Josh and Josh's eggs. What does it mean to, after going through all the different forms of racing, all the different tracks, all the different combinations, the tire allotments, the fuel saving, just everything that could be thrown at you underneath the sun, to come away with the ultimate prize in this final championship? What does that really truly mean to a racer, and how much pride do you take in the fact that this is one of those championships where you can really say that you're the best of the best at multiple disciplines?
Well, I don't know about the best of the best, but I will say that the 3 different series, very competitive, and I think the goal is to just race the track, get a good finish, and then you're there at the end when it comes time for the championship. So, but I think the format is great. I know Tom had kind of leaked a little bit of what they looking to do next year, and I think that's going to be even better too. So, but no, I'm proud of myself because I'm not a person that saves tires. I'm not a person that saves fuel. And if anybody taught me how to do that, was Chris Aiken, that normally is here and drives the 19. I've learned a lot from him on saving tires and fuel. So I have to shout out to him because without his help with that over the past several years, I don't know that I would have been here, because I don't like to save tires and I don't like to save fuel. I just want to race.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, did the best of the bunch tonight, saving the tires, saving the fuel, putting yourself in position to win this championship, Jamie. One final question, because I know you're dying to get back out there with your crew and your guys and go celebrate, but how are you in this 9-10 bunch going to celebrate this championship?
Well, first of all, we're going to celebrate by remembering my dad. And Viper brought up a scenario that he's planning on doing next year, running the 66. And I'm probably, if nobody's running the 7, I think I'm going to run the 7 in honor of my dad. So this is a game that my dad played day in and day out. Being retired at the time, he practiced during the day, so he could be competitive at night with us, and he definitely showed that on super speedways and tracks like Michigan and California, and of course Daytona and Talladega. But I miss racing with my dad. I'm not going to lie to you. Being able to share team speak and share the track with your dad is something special, and I just wished he could have been here for this as well. But this championship is for hashtag Kenny Strong 7 for sure.
Jamie, did him proud tonight. Congratulations on the championship. Big moment for you and this team. Before we let you go, I know you got some great teammates, some great supporters, some great folks to shout out. The floor is yours, buddy. You know what to do.
Well, first of all, as always, I appreciate JTN and what you do, Joe, for the entire community, and not just this league or whatever league. It's for the entire community. So I don't know that I've ever won a championship on a broadcast. So this is a first for me. So I guess JTN is my first real championship win. So we appreciate that. Of course, TMP, Roger and Tom, they put on an excellent series throughout the year. So I don't know that you could find a better place to race that's competitive and clean like it is. So hats off to them for creating such a league that we can come to and sit back and enjoy. I mean, being the owner of SMO League, sometimes you don't get to sit back and enjoy racing. So being able to come over here and just sit back and actually race has been a pleasure of mine, and I appreciate everything that TMP does for us. So, and of course, Josh's Eggs for sponsoring the championship series and the Monday night series that he sponsors at SMO as well. So thanks to the SMO guys, and thanks to all the drivers over here. I know I called out Rich for his very competitive and clean racing, and there's others too, Josh Boyer and several others that I've enjoyed racing with. So, but again, thank you guys, and this is for hashtag Kenny Strong 7.
Jamie, it's been a pleasure to get the opportunity to talk with you throughout this season. Man, congratulations on the championship, the culmination of it all. First real championship. I like that. First, at least documented live championship. Man, congratulations on it. Pleasure getting to talk with you, as I said, and wishing you the best of luck here in the off season. Sounds like you got some redecaling to do on the cars as well heading into next year. So best of luck with the preparations, and hope to be talking with you again next season.
Looking forward to it. Thanks again, Joe.
And thank you. Jamie Tedder, driver of the 910, your champion here from Michigan.
Hey, Jamie, before you go, there's a $25 gift card from Buffalo Wild Wings in the mail for you.
Ooh.
Awesome. Okay. Sounds good. I appreciate that.
Hey,
all right.
Real quick, we're not sponsored, but Jamie, they got unlimited boneless wings right now. $20.
All right.
There you go.
Look at there.
Look at there.
All right.
That's the gift that keeps on giving. I guess the trophy.
You know what? Let's go on down tonight and just celebrate. Let's do this. So
sounds good. Jamie Tedder, driving the 910. He's going to B-dubs, folks. He's going to B-dubs. Are you a barbecue or lemon pep guy?
Barbecue for sure.
All right. Fair enough. Jamie Tedder, driver of the 910, champion here tonight. Whew. All right. And we are still joined in here by Tom Musa. And Tom, I just wanted to give you the opportunity real quick, because I know shorter off season this year. But for folks out that first takeaways from this season for you and the entire admin team here at TMP.
I thought this was the best year we've ever had, considering what happened 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And the guys that are racing here show up every week. I mean, we're solid 16 drivers a week, which is awesome. I don't ever want to go above 20 just because once you get more than 20, it gets pretty hectic.
Hard to manage. That's fair.
That too. And then, you got to trust everybody.
Yep.
And also, there's 64 races. That's a lot of laps.
Yeah.
That's a lot. But we managed to do it in 8 months or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
We have a schedule for next year starting the middle of July. It'll be the original Cup Series again, 10 weeks. And then the CTS starting in, September to December. And then in January, we go back to this series, 10 weeks in each one, 2 races each night. And the twist in it, you can only take tires under green flag pit stops. Still a tire rule of 1 set of tires or whatever it is at length of the race, but you got to change tires under green.
So we're just throwing more challenges at these drivers, huh?
Yeah, I mean, anybody can drive a new set of tires and full tank of fuel. I want to make this a challenge.
Fair enough.
Which seemed to work out with the 1 set of tires.
Hey, listen, it's fun.
Save.
It's fun to watch, It's fun to watch, but...
And 2 weeks in a row that we only had 1 yellow tonight, or 2?
3.
Whatever. It still was good.
It's still really good. Yeah, no, of course. But, Tom, I know you said we got 16 every week. 20 is the ideal maximum number. So if there are 4 guys out there that want to join in, what should they do, or what could they look out for?
We should have a sign-up sheet on TMP Racing website. And or Facebook. We're on Facebook too. So Roger's still running stuff. I'm hoping he'll be back next year. We're working on that.
Fair enough. Well, before we let you go, Tom, anyone you want to thank? I know obviously all these guys for putting on some great racing throughout the year, but anyone else?
Yeah, my wife went up with all this crap. She goes to bed every night at 9 o'clock because she has to be up at 6. So after that, it's fine. It's just before that. But yeah, my wife and everybody for showing up. This league is turning out to be much better than I ever thought it would be.
Well, Tom, we're excited to see where everything takes us. Congratulations on a very successful season here. Running the show, some great racing, and some great results for you as well behind the wheel. And it's always been a pleasure of ours to be able to come out and broadcast these races, and we're looking forward to doing more in the future.
Sounds good. Thanks for all you guys do. You guys do an excellent job.
Of course. Our pleasure. Tom Musa, head honcho. Half head honcho or head honcho. I don't know. You tell me, Tom. Track honcho. Here at TMP. Thanks, Tom. And Dewey, that's going to wrap up our coverage here tonight, man. A great race for Michigan here this evening. I mean, these guys put on a spectacular show. Fuel mileage there at the end, make things even more fun. And at the end of the day, it was Jamie Tedder coming home with the championship.
Yeah, back-to-back fuel mileage bangers to end off the season, and I just got a feel for Josh too, though. I mean, coming up just short.
2 weeks in a row.
A row. First time for the win, second time for the title. I mean, that's about as brutal of an ending as it can get for him, but I do want to shout him out and give him a job well done, though, because that was a really ballsy move to do that after it not working out last week, and, you got to do what you got to do to win the title, and it's not always going to work, but, props to trying something different, even though it didn't quite work out the way you wanted it to. But congrats to Jamie Tedder, of course, on the championship at the end of it, and tell you what, these were 2 pretty fun races to call, Joe.
Hey, it was a lot of fun up here in the booth, folks. It was a lot of fun down here on the track. You heard Tom say it. Check out the TMP Racing website. You can also check out their Facebook page, find out more when we go back racing in July. Before we wrap up the coverage here, I want to once again thank all these drivers for all the great racing that we got to witness here this season. Big congratulations goes out to Jamie. Big congratulations also to Tom Goodman for his win here tonight. And a big thank you to Tom and Roger for all that they do to kind of help get us set up and squared away and ready to go and do all these broadcasts. Also, a big thank you for being the presenting sponsor of this TMP Championship Series, as well as being the main driver, at least financially, for bringing us out to the races these last 4 weeks. Josh, too. Josh's Eggs out of Dunn, North Carolina. You can check out his website to find out more, how to get some of the freshest eggs on the planet from Josh's Eggs. But folks, with all that being said, we can't thank you enough for tuning in tonight. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed. And for all of us here at JTN, for Bristol, our producer, for my colleague Dewey Schramm, I've been Joe Talansky. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time live right here on JTN. So long for now, folks.
3 wide for second, but Sean Whitehill is going to bring it home and win the race at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Ricky J closing up off turn 4. He's going to have a run to the inside. He blocks into the grass. Checkers out. Hardy wins it.
Ricky, what's going on in your brain right now?
Yeah, putting on 4 big rubber shoes and 2 gallons of, not 2 gallons, 2 cans of exploding dino juice here, Joe.
Down to the tunnel turn. These guys are throwing it through there and around to the back of the wall, as well as RJ Bishop. Down in front of Keith Hughes. Oh, no! Big hit. RJ Bishop.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Ricky
big
J
wreck.
big crashed into the wall.
Oh,
The leaders
no.
have wrecked. Ricky J is upside down. Magoo is hard on the wall. Tyler Mallon escapes with no damage. Everybody else in this main group, including Nelly, is junk.
Through the north chute they'll go. The 24's into the wall. Almost contact there. The 10 with the shallow entry into turn 4. It's going to be a drag race down the front straightaway. Folks, the 24's in the wall. They make contact. Turn around. Napick goes on through the flip. Rich Napick's going to win the Culver Block 200 in thrilling fashion.